Good day to all, comrades and friends. This is Global Weekly News, serial number 11. Comrades, 2nd September is an important day. It is on this day in 1945 Vietnam got liberated under the leadership of Comrade Ho Chi Minh. It is on the same day in 1869 Comrade Ho Chi Minh died. I had the opportunity to visit the mausoleum of Comrade Ho Chi Minh in Hanoi and saluted his mortal body. Comrades, let us go to the first item. A very terrific incident happened in Argentina. Argentina deputy president there was an attempt on her life, attempt to murder deputy president of Argentina. The deputy president of Argentina, Cristina Kirchner, opposed getting IMF loans. The rightist forces used lawfare, that is, using law for political motives against Cristina, and tried to get imprisonment for her by launching false allegations. Opposing this, the supporters of Cristina assembled before the home of Cristina in thousands. Last week, this was reported by me. On 1st September, Cristina Kirchner, after returning from the Senate, came out of her home to greet the supporters. Suddenly, a 35-year-old youth with fascist tattoos placed his gun at her face and tried to shoot her. Though there were 5 bullets in the gun, since he lacked practice, he could not fire at her. The gun did not work. The youth was immediately apprehended and Cristina was taken to a safer place. World leaders, including the Latin American leaders, condemned this horrific attack on Cristina. People in tens of thousands assembled in Central Square of Buenos Aires and protested against the rightist forces. We can see new developments when elections are coming soon in Argentina. The fraud committed by the former president Mauricio Macri in getting IMF loans came to light, and we can see the decline in the influence of the rightist forces. During Mauricio Macri's rule, the justice system and the media were brought under the control of the rightist ruling classes. Cristina said that she is innocent and the charges against her are fabricated by the right forces, and therefore there is no question of seeking an apology. In a planned manner, the media is spreading false news on Cristina. The rightist forces are launching the vilification campaign against Cristina. Comrades and friends, recently Gorbachev died in Russia. The death of Gorbachev, the last leader of the former Soviet Union, Gorbachev died at the age of 91. The Western world is saying that Gorbachev is the best social leader, but Russians believe that it is Gorbachev who destabilized the Soviet Union. Due to his disruptive activities, 3 million or 30 lakh people died. The USSR got disintegrated and the social advancement of Soviet Union got deteriorated. Gorbachev, in his memoirs in 1996, said that he joined the Communist Party in 1940s at the time of Second World War. He also said that he did not do anything wrong. It was Boris Yeltsin, the chairman of Moscow Party, who did all the mistakes. That's what Gorbachev had written in his memoirs. It is a fact that Boris Yeltsin had a great role in destruction of USSR. But Gorbachev opened the doors for the same. Gorbachev undermined the ideology of Communist Party by coining new slogans, perestroika, that is restructuring, and glasnost, that is openness, transparency. Gorbachev dissolved Soviet Communist Party when he himself was the General Secretary of the party. Many do not know that the armed coup led by Boris Yeltsin brought the fall of Soviet rule. in order to rehabilitate his reputation, both in his own memoirs in 1986 and in biography in 2017 written by somebody else, Gorbachev tried in many ways. Gorbachev, along with Boris Yeltsin, created a crony system to privatize Russia, and all its great social assets were looted by crony foreign corporates. The third item we go in Pakistan, there is a very big catastrophe due to excessive rains and floods. Catastrophe in Pakistan due to floods. El Nino is a climate change when the average temperature of ocean surface water gets warmed up. La Nina is a climate pattern that describes the cooling of surface ocean waters along the tropical west coast of South America. Both El Nino and La Nina occur once in 2 to 7 years. La Nina continues for 3 years. Due to cooling of surface waters of the ocean, unprecedented rains occurred in Pakistan, the worst after 12 years in Pakistan. It sabotaged Pakistan. Half of Pakistan is under flood waters. In the August, excess rainfall of 190% were there. River Sindhu flows over the banks. Worst affected provinces were Sindhu and Balochistan. More than 1,300 people died. 94,000 houses were destroyed. 3,500 kilometers of roads were destroyed. The goats and the cows, that is cattle of the poor people, 7,27,000 died due to the floods. 30 million or 3 crore people were affected. During the months May and June, temperature in Pakistan rose to 53 degrees centigrade, the highest. Due to the heat waves, forest fires occurred now and then. Due to the floods in 2010, more than 2,000 people died. Neither the Pakistan government nor the local bodies learnt any lesson from the floods. They failed to provide proper drainage facilities to drain away the excess floodwaters. Due to heat waves, cloud bursts occurred, often causing excessive rains. Presently, Pakistan is facing political and economic crisis. Like Sri Lanka, you can see the intensification of crisis in Pakistan. Malaria, diarrhea, cholera and skin diseases are spread due to mosquitoes and polluted water. People die due to snake bites also. The snakes came out during the floods. Many countries including China, United Kingdom, United States, United Arab Emirates, India, etc. have extended aids to Pakistan. The total flood damage in Pakistan is to the tune of 11 billion US dollars. In Indian rupees, it is 88,000 crores rupees. IMF has offered a loan of 1 billion US dollar. In Indian rupees, just 8,000 crore. Total damage 11 billion. IMF offer of loan is only 1 billion. Well, this is the unfair generosity of the Western world. And there is 40% inflation also in Pakistan. People who lost their homes, they put up the tents in highways. The rich people live in high lands and therefore escaped from the fury of the floods. The poor people living in low-level areas are facing many challenges. Agricultural farms are immersed in flood waters. It is very difficult for government aid to reach the affected people due to lack of connectivity and communication disruption. Comrades and friends, the fourth item we see, war resumes in Ethiopia. It is in the Horn of Africa. TPLF, Tigray People's Liberation Front, is an ethnic nationalist paramilitary group. It's a banned political party, TPLF, designated as a terrorist organization by the Ethiopian government. United States and Western countries are supporting TPLF. TPLF's dictatorial role was there from 1991 to 2018. All the political parties except the ruling coalition parties were then banned for 28 years. There was no press freedom. Ethiopia was a loose federal setup with the states having their own separate militias. In 2018, TPLF had to resign from power due to pro-democracy massive protests. TPLF continued its power in Tigray region alone. Abiy Ahmed, the progressive prime minister, took over power in 2018. He believed in Ethiopian nationalism and unity of various ethnic people. He removed the ban on the political parties. He allowed freedom of the press. Abiy Ahmed made reforms in foreign relations too. He ended the decades-old conflict with the northern country Eritrea. All along, Ethiopia government treated Eritrea as its enemy. Abiy Ahmed made a peace and cooperation deal with Eritrea and Somalia, tripartite peace deal. Abiy Ahmed got the Nobel Peace Prize in 2018. But USA does not like smooth relations between African countries. The character of US is like that. The character of imperialism is like that. United States Africa Command, in short AFRICOM, is extending military help to 53 African nations. AFRICOM attacked Libya in the past. Well, AFRICOM is nothing but NATO in Africa. US considers the relations between African countries will weaken Africa. Ethiopian government unilaterally announced a ceasefire in 2022 March so that aids to Tigray region reach peacefully. TPLF also reciprocated. Now and then there were some small clashes, but on the whole, there was peace for past 5 months. During this period, African Union representative and former Nigerian President Obasanjo made attempts for peace negotiations. On 2nd August, US envoy to Africa, Mike Hammer, and the US consulate for Ethiopia, they met TPLF leaders in Mekelle, the capital of Tigray. After their visit to the capital of Tigray, TPLF resumed the war with the government on 24th August. TPLF refused to take part in peace negotiations led by African Union. TPLF has demanded Western powers intervention and violated the ceasefire understanding with the government. World Food Program warehouse is there in Mekelle, capital of Tigray region. TPLF forces entered this warehouse and took away 12 fuel trucks carrying 0.57 million or 570,000 liter fuel. Without fuel, you cannot transport the food aid to millions of people. World Food Program director said this is ridiculous, disgraceful. TPLF has conscripted children also to join its military forces. That is, TPLF has forced the children also to be its soldiers. Fifth item, we go to Iraq. There is a political crisis. In Iraq, there is a political catastrophe. Though parliament elections took place in 2019, government could not be formed since no political bloc had its majority. There were elections in 2021 again. US imposed a caretaker government led by a caretaker prime minister, Mustafa al-Kadhimi. He is a former intelligence official. He is an independent. He does not belong to any political party. The biggest political bloc is known as Syron. Muqtada al-Sadr, the leader of Southern Rights Movement, Communist Party, and many groups are there in this block. Muqta al-Sadr is a very different, erratic person. During the past 8 years, he announced retirement from politics 4 times. This has infuriated his supporters. The supporters entered the green zone in Baghdad, wherein government buildings are there. They formed camps in many cities in southern Iraq. This has intensified the political crisis. The supporters smashed the government buildings. In the conflict with the security forces, 30 people got killed and 700 injured. Muqta al-Sadr warned to stop this violence within 60 minutes, otherwise he will go on hunger strike. The chief cleric, Ayatollah Kadim al-Harari, 83 years old, he also announced his retirement. He abused Muqta al-Sadr. The Prime Minister announced a curfew. The then government in 2019 had to resign due to year-long mass struggles. Though elections took place 10 months before, no government could be formed in Iraq. This is the political crisis in Iraq. Sixth, we go to Brazil. On 2nd October, elections to assemblies, parliament, president and vice president posts will take place in Brazil on 2nd October. Lula da Silva, the Workers' Party leader, is ahead in opinion polls for the president's post. Still, however, the incumbent president and candidate for president, Jair Bolsonaro, wants to come back to power somehow or other at any cost. He is supported by ruling classes of Brazil. Lawfare is the new word in the vocabulary in Latin America. Means use of law for political motives. There was lawfare against Lula da Silva when he was the president and against Dilma Rousseff who was president after Lula. Both Lula and Dilma Rousseff had to resign due to lawfare. It is not enough if Lula wins the presidential race. It is important for him to get majority in the parliament so that he can face any impeachment motion successfully. In the states where Bolsonaro party is in power, taxes on gasoline were reduced to attract middle class voters. Bolsonaro's politics is going on telling lies after lies one after another. But Lula's politics are based on truth. When he was president in the past, he formed the World Social Forum, through which he proclaimed, well, there is an alternative to the neoliberal economic policies dictated by US imperialism. There is an alternative. He made serious efforts in solving Iran's atomic power issue. But Donald Trump prevented this. Lula's victory is important not only for Latin America but for the world as a whole. BRICS will get strengthened if Lula comes to power. The landless workers movement, Lula's alliance partner, is contesting many seats in the parliament. All over the world, electronic voting machines were accepted and trusted, but Bolsonaro is undermining the use of these machines. Bolsonaro is only leader who has not condemned the murderous attempt on Cristina Kirchner, deputy president of Argentina. Comrades, the last item we see why Ukraine war continues. Foreign Affairs. Foreign Affairs is a renowned magazine in USA. In its September-October 2022 issue, Pina Hill and Angela Stent, they wrote an article criticizing Putin, the Prime Minister of Russia. But there was a stunning news in the article. The news is Putin and Zelensky could reach an interim peace accord in 2022 April itself. Russian forces entered Ukraine on 24th February. In April itself, the war could have been ended. As per this accord, Russian forces will retreat to their position on 24th February. And Ukraine promised that they will not join NATO. But Boris Johnson, United Kingdom's, the British Prime Minister, went to Kyiv of Ukraine and met Ukraine President Zelensky. Boris told Zelensky that Western powers, that is US and NATO countries, will not accept this peace accord. If only the Western countries had not blocked this accord, peace would have returned to Ukraine in April itself, that is after 2 months and a week after the war started. But now the war continues for more than 6 months. This stunning news did not get headline news in the newspapers. Now, Liz Truss has taken over as the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. She will be following Margaret Thatcher's conservative agenda in a more intensive way. The weapon manufacturing lobby of the West, they want Ukraine war to continue so that they can make a hell of a profit out of the arms sales. The capitalist system is warmongering. Therefore, the capitalist system must go lock, stock and barrel. Thank you, comrades. Let us meet next week. Welcome.